see what we got.
I love it. Here we go.
Survival Opposition. So one of my good friends, this is his favorite deck, so I have a lot of practice. Very frustrating deck to play against. Dan, if you're watching this, know that I hate playing against you. But yeah, this deck is very, very powerful. Using Opposition, another 4-mana enchantment. As we can tell, this format kind of revolves around 3 and 4 drops.
Yep.
But a 4-mana enchantment that allows you to tap out your opponent by tapping your own creatures in response, using things like Heritage Druid to flood the board with squirrel tokens, and then those squirrel tokens enable you to tap out your opponent with Opposition, and then just kind of controlling the board with things like Waterfront Bouncer, and just kind of winning the game with little chip beats.
Yep. Trade Wind Rider in there.
Yep.
One of my favorite cards in Premodern. 4-mana, 1/4, tap it into other creatures you control to bounce any permanent from your opponent's side back to their hand. So yeah, the Waterfront Bouncer and this in tandem. You have Survival to tie all these one-offs together. Really like this Merfolk Looter. You got the Basking Root Wall as well to chain into Survival, and then you play a Gaia's Cradle, and now you're generating a ton of mana.
And if your opponent manages to play something big like a Dreadnought, you just steal it with the Gilded Drake.
Gilded Drake a beauty. Masticore to take care of the go wide. Genesis to return things to your hand when your opponents answer it. This is one of my favorite decks in the format, and I really love seeing the 4 oppositions here. That is a statement.
It almost looks like a commander deck
right.
with all the 1-drops.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This is a nice list, and this is our boy Matt Deitz actually. We claim him as a Duressman, one of the crew lads, and he's getting on stream here.
And then we got Mono-Black Midrange.
I think something we're going to see a lot on stream this weekend. Mono-Black. Here we have him on the Dark Rituals. There's a big debate these days whether you should play Dark Ritual or not. He is on Dark Ritual. And do you see that thing grinning at me? That is a grinning
demon.
Oh, I love it.
I'm getting such a nostalgia rush looking at this because
same.
I started playing Magic in Onslaught Block. So, when I walked into that store for the first time, I saw that grinning demon on the Onslaught booster box.
Exactly.
And it just that screams peak Magic to me.
Yes, 6/6 for 4. You do lose 2 life during your upkeep, but man, that thing is a hammer and makes everything else look like a nail.
Yep.
Here we have the Ravenous Rats, which are, one of the biggest up-and-coming cards in the past year.
Just going Ravenous Rats into Cabal Therapy is brutal.
Yep. Play your rats, make your opponent discard, play a therapy, hit, God willing, and then we're flashing back, and now you're just getting this 3 for 2 that's just so potent.
Yep, and can't forget about the Hippie.
Yes.
Hypnotic Spectre, one of my favorite creatures of all time.
Dude, he's been doing it forever. It's amazing. A timeless card. Okay, so we're going to see that turn 1 Duress, and we believe it was the
Survival. Yep. So we got Manticore, Tradewind, Wall of Blossoms.
Yeah, very, very nice hand here, I would say.
Very well rounded.
Although a bit awkward. Here's the Duress bug, right? You Duress your opponent's Survival, and then they draw it up the top.
Right?
Yeah, yep.
The real life. It's not just a Magic Online thing, guys.
Yep. But yeah, a pretty nice, well-rounded hand from Matt, although it is slightly awkward with these 2 City of Brasses. Those are going to be punishing.
It's going to chip away, especially against a mid-range mono-black deck.
Yeah. You don't want to give them anything. You don't want to give them an inch.
Cabal Therapy. I'm guessing he's going to name Manticore. No, he actually gets the Wall of Blossoms.
I actually like that a lot.
Yeah, it slows him down.
Yep. And, the Wall of Blossoms is going to be a 2-for-1 guaranteed in this matchup. Yep. So good at blocking.
Plus, it turns off the Gaia's Cradle.
Exactly.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, I think that was a really good play right there.
This is why I don't play fair decks. I make those dumb plays.
Right. Yeah. Why make decisions like that when you can just win?
Yeah.
Matt here opting to Survival on his turn.
Discard that Manticore.
Kind of interesting here. I wonder if we're thinking about getting like a Manador, because you really want to get that squee going.
Right.
The squee in tandem with Survival of the Fittest allows you to draw 2 cards per turn, plus really get like
He's getting the root wallet to turn the
Oh, I love it.
Gaia's Cradle on.
I love it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Matt has been playing this deck for over a year now, I would say, like really grinding it. Has performed really well at our tournaments in Massachusetts. You know, top eighted some of the bigger ones. You know, we're regularly putting on 130 person or so tournaments up in Massachusetts. And yeah, he's top eighted at least one of them with survival now.
Yep. And it's been a pleasure watching the format grow up because it's such a young format. In the beginning, we didn't have players who had been like on a deck for 2 years,
Right?
and
Yeah.
now we're actually, as the format matures, we're starting to see those like dedicated players
Yep.
having multiple years of reps in with their decks, which
Yep.
really makes a difference in this very decision-heavy format.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. Deck specialists.
I think we're going to see a Grinning Demon. Oh, is that 3 mana? Maybe it's a hippie.
Well, so he could morph a Grinning Demon.
He could morph
I
it.
think that he has a Phyrexian Arena. He has a Bane of the Living that he could morph, and there we are seeing the Bane of the Living. But this is going to be a really tough hill for Mono-Black to climb. Once that survival comes down, it just runs away with the game. I mean, you're drawing 1 card per turn. Your opponent on survival is drawing 2 cards a turn. The Mono-Black deck is really going to need to find a Withered Wretch here. So that it can control that graveyard, get the squee out of there, and bring this back to a fair game.
Yeah, and we saw discarding the Elvish Spirit Guide for the extra green to activate survival again to get the Root Walla for free.
Yeah, that's exciting. Nice Heather Hudson signatures on those Root Wallas. That was one of our guest artists last year. Wonderful artist, great work.
Yep, and we got the Walla Roots, which is just going to enable that survival to just churn through creatures.
Yeah, so let's see. Are we going to be able to cast Wall of Roots and Trade Wind on this turn, or are we still a mana short as of right now?
2, 3. I think he's still
one
mana
short. Yeah, okay. Not even what he's thinking about, though. Let's just keep accumulating value here. Probably would love to find a forest, although this Gaia's Cradle being live is really nice for him.
Yeah. It's funny, in the space of a turn, it went from completely dead to generating 2 mana.
Right, yeah. He is in a bit of a pickle. You know, I'm sure that he kind of knows that this is the Bane of the Living right now. So he is most likely going to lose these Root Walls after this turn, and that's going to be a big setback on his Gaia's Cradle mana.
Right.
I love the attack here, going, his 1/1s into a 2/2 because he has the option to pump them.
Yep.
Oh, and here we see the Trade Wind coming down. So Erick is not going to be able to turn up this Bane of the Living and trade with that this turn. He's still a mana short, at least on that.
Right.
Bane of the Living, when it flips up, you pay X, and I believe 1 black, but it might be 2 black, and all creatures get -X until end of turn.
Very good against this weenie.
Yeah, and I think that he's probably pretty tempted right now to just trade for these 2 Root Wallas.
Looks like he's cracking in.
Yep, cracking in before damage. Flip it over.
There's the Bane of the Living.
It's a 4/3, so if you go bigger than 3, you do lose your Bane. Here he's just doing it for 2.
I think he's actually doing it for 1, because I think that is 2 black on it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, good call. Yep, and he gets in the extra point of damage.
Yep. I think Survival Opposition might be the most expensive deck to put together in the format, just off of the Gaia's Cradles and the Survival of the Fittest.
Yeah.
Because Survivals are like $350, $400. The Gaia's Cradles are like $1,800.
Yeah, the price of pre-modern cards has absolutely exploded over the past 6 months, and especially so with the adoption of pre-modern on MTGO. That's like really been the catalyst for this format exploding.
Yeah, but it's funny because there are still $150 decks and then $6,000 decks, and that wasn't really the case with formats like Vintage and Legacy, where pretty much every deck was $2,000, $3,000, $4,000.
Yeah. It's really nice that it is open in that way.
Yeah, and it's not even that there's one $150 deck. There's numerous decks to choose from that you can put together for under $300.
Yeah, it's great. So here we saw an attack with the Bane of the Living getting blocked very nicely by the Wall of Roots. And now we see a Ravenous Rats coming down with Matt only having Squee in his hand.
Which he is activating survival for. So he's basically choosing a card to discard.
Yeah, and what
from
better
his
card
deck.
than Genesis?
Exactly.
And we also have a live Tradewind Rider right now. Although the target's on the other side, not so good to bounce.
You don't really want to bounce those.
Yes, but it does have the ability to target lands. So we'll probably see an end of turn bounce on a swamp here, which can be pretty backbreaking, especially because Erick has been missing his land drops.
He has. I think he's missed 2 land drops.
Yeah. Yeah. God, I love Tradewind Rider. There is nothing better than activating that card. Like, it's just a rush of life.
As a Dreadnought player, I hate
sure.
Tradewind.
I'm sure. Yep. Boomerang on a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very, I don't know if surprised is the right word, but it was interesting to see in his list just the Singleton Trade Rider, but the 4 oppositions. You know, often people have not even played opposition in these decks.
Yeah.
And completely eschewed it. Sometimes you see it as a 1 of, a 2 of, but Matt here is saying that you know, that is the card that he is building around.
Been having, like I said, my friends on opposition and playing against it quite a bit. It is a back-breaking card to fight against.
Yeah.
It is very difficult to come out from under an opposition with an opponent.
Yep. So Matt discarding his Squee, using a counter on the Wall of Roots. Hasn't even had to tap a mana yet. Going to go get a Wall of Blossoms and further his advantage here. And like I said, the survival just absolutely runs away with the game. And, you know, this is something that Erick is going to be able to have better answers for after sideboard. But main deck, the black deck really has no way of getting that off the board.
Right. And I think Erick knows it. Looking at his face, he seems
Looking at the disposition right now, yeah, he's in a tough spot for sure. Matt playing the deck very, very cleanly so far. Tough playing a deck like this on a feature match.
for sure.
You know, like I was saying earlier in the stream, when you have survival on the board, you have so many lines, so many options. Very thinky, tanky deck, and hard to navigate perfectly.
Yep.
So Erick back to 3 lands. He does have attacks again because Matt has been putting counters on the Wall of Roots. So he doesn't have the 0-5 blocker for that Bane of the Living anymore. And he is at 10 life because he's dealt himself a really notable amount of damage with those City of Brass.
Yeah, those City of Brass have been putting in work, and
Yeah.
like we're gonna have some blocks.
I'm interesting. Like the rats turning sideways is very interesting because the Tradewind Rider is a 1/4. So it's like, how is my opponent trying to bait me on this right now? What's going on?
Exactly. And he has the Cabal Therapy in Graveyard too, I believe. So that rats is still valuable to Erick as a creature.
Right.
It was a Tradewind bounce.
It was. Smother. Okay.
Smother on the elf.
I do like this bounce a lot because, you know, Erick is still hamstrung on lands right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that Bane of the Living takes such a long time to get going. If you morph it, you know, and then he can only do -1/-1 as far as right now goes. So, you know, this is kind of like a double time walk almost. And then, of course, if he morphs it, then Matt is able to bounce it again. So, yeah, I like that bounce right there because, you know, at face value, you're like, well, I don't want to bounce that back to his hand. That's going to give him the ability to use it.
Right.
But not so much.
But also, Matt's remaining creatures all have high toughness, so he also isn't that afraid of the -1/-1.
Right. Yeah, and here we're seeing another 0-5, furthering his mana. And I expect him to be turning the corner in this game very soon.
Yeah.
He's getting, you know,
Squee being discarded to get another card.
What looks good right now? Probably a Masticore, I think, could do a good job of closing this game out.
Yep. Or I was actually thinking Heritage Druid, I think is the haymaker.
Deranged Terminal.
Deranged Terminal,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
not
yeah.
Heritage Druid.
Yeah,
Thank you.
then there you go. You calls him like you sees him, Jerry.
Hey, when I get the name right.
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah,
what I meant.
Yes.
Smelly guy in the woods. That
yeah.
one.
Yeah. Rocking his millions.
Yes. Oh, I forgot. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That just, man, you just triggered some nostalgia from me.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And now, so we have a lot of creatures to use with this trade Wind Rider. A very wide board. No problem in paying Echo. I don't think that there's really a way out of this at this point. I can't imagine what he's got.
Yep, and there's the scoop.
Yep. So, you know, like I said, the duress bug, you duress that survival of the fittest, they draw their second one, play it, and you're just like, oh,
yeah,
you just groan. It's tough.
And I don't think Matt actually played opposition at all that game, so Eric is still in the dark about that opposition.
Yeah, like I said, not a card that is always a 4 of necessarily, so.
Yep. All right, so what is Matt bringing in here?
Sylvan Safekeeper is relatively interesting, although we saw the Bane of the Living, so that thing can be taken care of pretty easily.
I wonder if he brings in the Essence Flare because it's not great, but it looks like it might be his only answer to something against like a Hypnotic Spectre.
Yeah, or a Withered Wretch.
Yeah, good call.
Calming Verse is an Enchantress hate card. Caller of the Claw.
Yeah, Caller of the Claw could work.
I think that's something that I'd be interested in bringing in because the Mono-Black deck is going to, be trying to use a lot of removal here. And it does have the sweeper in the form of the Bane of the Living, so, you might be able to catch them there. Matt didn't see any ports, wastelands, or factories, so he's probably going to be a little unsure about the Sabo's Web.
Yeah, I don't think I would bring it in based on what I saw in that match.
Yeah.
But Sabo's Web, I mean, even when Sabo's Web's bad, it still replaces itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tormod's Crypt, don't think that would come in either.
No, I think that his deck is very well versed for this matchup, so he doesn't need to overboard. That is for sure.
Yep. Powder Kegs, I think Powder Kegs come in. It doesn't answer the enchantments, but it can clear a lot of those blocking walls.
Yeah. Yeah, Powder Keg is going to be man, this is actually going to be hard for Eric because he has so many good cards to bring in, honestly. I mean,
he does.
So one of the big things here is those Withered Wretches were in the sideboard.
Yeah.
So he's going to be bringing in the Withered Wretches. He has Perish, which can easily go, 3, 4, 5 for 1.
Yeah, wipe the board.
Although they're all blue creatures, but yeah, great card. You have Engineered Plagues, which are really strong because Matt has all these X1s and a lot of them are elves and, similar creature types.
Yep.
You have Dystopia, which is a must bring in because that's your only way to get a survival off the board after it's resolved. A very unique enchantment from Alliances. And then, like you said, the Powder Kegs are a way for him to sweep up. But that's a lot of cards to bring in, and it's pretty hard to find, the room for all that type of stuff.
And we do see the Mishra's Factories and the Wasteland from Eric, so bringing in those Sabo's Webs actually would be a very good call.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always hard though when you don't see them. You're like, do I do it? Do I not do it?
And then what is Eric cut?
So cards that I'm not interested in, probably Grinning Demon. I think that is just there's
too slow.
Yeah, it's too slow, and there's so many blockers, so many things to get in the way of it. I think the Drain Lives look relatively weak here. The Duress is a hard thing. Matt is on so many creatures, And
he got lucky that turn 1 hitting the survival.
Yeah.
But if you don't have it turn 1, survival's coming into play turn 2.
Exactly. And then you don't really have anything else to hit with it because it's just a creature deck after survival.
Right.
So I might be interested in trimming on survivals. Ravenous Rats, kind of iffy in this matchup. Matt has a lot of graveyard recursion and also Squee, but, if it comes down early and gets in there in tandem with Cabal Therapy, that might be something that you want to keep. Diabolic Edicts, looking relatively weak outside of the opening turns of the game.
Yeah, the opposition deck just floods the board with so many easy-to-sack creatures.
Yeah, the thing is, if you can catch the removal on the turn 1 Mana Dork and stop them from, playing the turn 2 survival plus having the activation, that can be really good. But I think that one might be cuttable because you still have the Smothers and you're still bringing in so much removal. So, yeah, I think that he's kind of got room for these pieces, but at the same time, he can't neuter his deck too much. He still needs to be aggressive.
Yeah, for sure.
The Dark Ritual and the Hypnotic Spectre is probably the best thing
I think that's his best turn 1.
Yeah, because Matt does not have removal, really. You know, he has Masticore and he has like bounce, but if a turn 1 hippie comes down, he's gonna have a really, you know, he's gonna have a heck of a time dealing with that.
Right.
Looks like we are on a mill to 6 here. I love it when players use those dice. I myself have forgotten how many times I mulled and had to like call the stream and yeah.
That just really makes the hippie look that. And I think we might be seeing. Is that a dark ritual?
We got a dark ritual.
Okay.
Okay.
Tuku.
Do we have a follow up with it? Therapy or a duress would be pretty nice right here. See, another dark ritual.
Yeah, another dark ritual. Is he now going to play a hippie? Oh, a morph.
Okay.
Bane of the Living or Grinning Demon. What do you think?
Bane of the Living is my guess. I hope that he has some lands to follow that up, though. Okay, we do see a second land. That makes me feel better about this.
Yep.
A bit of a non-bow here with the Bane of the Living and the Shade. I don't love that.
That's what made me think it might be the Grinning Demon, but he could have just played it as a 2/2 to just, you know, start racing. We did see Matt get pretty low with the City of Brasses.
Yeah.
And if Eric can chip away, another Nintuku Shade, jeez.
Yeah. Okay, Matt accelerating nicely here for, you know, this opening sequence for him.
Yep.
But Eric has a lot of pressure here. If he hits another swamp, he's going to be cooking. And he did. That. Yes, we are officially cooking here.
This is what Mono-Black wants to be doing.
Yes, you have no good blocks. If you don't block, you know, we're just pumping into these shades. Oh, wow. And there's the dystopia.
That, I think, just might be game right
I
there.
think that's game.
That was an incredibly quick game, too.
That is, yeah, honestly. Okay, so, yeah, you know, the Dark Ritual enjoyers are probably sitting at home
just
grinning
like,
ear to ear right now. I was right. Such a big debate these days in the community about, you know, whether or not you should be on that, because if you don't play Dark Ritual, now you have 4 more slots in your deck, you know, more control, more things to do.
It's card disadvantage, which is very difficult in a deck that doesn't really have a way to generate card advantage.
Yep. And so we can talk about Dystopia for a quick second here. This is a 3-mana enchantment out of Alliances. Cumulative upkeep, pay 1 life. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a green or a white permanent. So, you know, this is how Mono-Black keeps survival of the fittest off the board. Here we do see Matt coming down with their survival, but he's at 9 life. He has a City of Brass. You know, he's going to be able to at least get Basking Root Walls on the board.
Yep.
But it's looking sketchy.
He might just chain into a couple of Root Walls just to keep that Dystopia at bay.
Yeah. He does have a kind of cool play where, like, if, you know, Eric turns everything sideways, he can block both of the shades, but Eric has so much mana here. Discarding the Root Walla, playing it at instant speed off of Madness. Love that mechanic.
Mm-hmm. I need another Root Walla.
Here we are seeing the chain.
Yep.
But I don't know how he turns the corner in this scenario.
If he doesn't block those shades are going to be pumping in for 6 damage if he decides to tap out for it.
Right. So that's 4 plus 4 is 8. And if we tap the City of Brass, then that's lethal. So
we do see a block coming in.
Not even the ability to pump it. Sad Root Walla noises.
Sad Root Walla. And splitting the pumps, give +2/+2 to each shade.
Hell of a game 2 here for Mono-Black. So far, Dystopia, the only sideboard card that we've seen. Matt still hasn't seen those Wastelands or
Mishra's Factories. Yeah,
that's so funny.
Game 3, I think he definitely, if he didn't bring him in now, and I don't think he'll bring him in for Game 3 unless he sees something from Eric.
We're going to get a peek under the hood here as Matt goes through his survival. Is he going to be able to cast a Deranged Hermit? I guess if he has another land in hand, that's probably his best out here, is getting a Deranged Hermit on the board and just, you know, flooding the board. But then we do have the Bane of the Living.
Ooh, Gilded Drake. Gonna steal a shade, or he might steal the morph creature.
Yeah, he does have the ability to unmorph that because of Birds of Paradise and the City of Brass.
He does.
Wow, that is exciting. Oh, this is so cool, but does he have a land?
He's on one life.
Oh, he's on 1 life, so he can't tap the City of Brass.
Right.
Oh, man.
Or the pain.
Yeah. Oh, man. Just like, play versus draw right there.
Yep.
Yep.
Right there. That's what Mono-Black wants to do. Both games, both decks just absolutely dominated, doing exactly what they want to do.
Yep.
So full display here, the powers of each deck.
Yeah. Yeah, that was exciting. That was the double Dark Ritual all in. And I mean, Survival is a great deck to have the Dark Rituals against because you just don't get punished.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
What are you going to do?
Like, it's not like Matt doesn't have bolts. He doesn't have plows. There's so many times where you go for those super fast lines that cause so much card disadvantage, and then they answer your creatures, and now you're just like out of everything. And Survival Opposition just doesn't have that ability. So it's one of the reasons that I like the deck so much is that it's just so unique. It's so unique in the way that it plays, like not playing removal, kind of doing its own thing, looking for more of that prison strategy. It's just a really cool deck.
For sure.
And I'm just realizing no Winter Orbs.
Yeah, that actually is that's unusual for the opposition-based ones.
Because
Usually,
the opposition allows you to tap the Winter Orb, and now you get on taps every turn, and your opponent doesn't.
Yep. Or also just like a lot of ways people will get out from underneath the Winter Orb is just biding their time, and the opposition just like, oh, you untap that? No,
Right.
I'm going to tap it again.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 I'll have to ask him about it, pick his brain on this, because that is like, and that's a card that would have been so good right there. Eric is pumping all of this mana into those shades. And now if you have the Winter Orb on the board, that just like completely neuters the clock. So
exactly.
yeah. But I'm gonna trust Matt on this because, like I said, he's been grinding this deck. He's been playing it like crazy.
Yep.
He's 1-0.
Looks like both players are back in the tank for their sideboard decisions.
Yeah.
Looks like they're changing their strategies around.
Yeah. Matt got a little more information out of that game, I think, compared to the first one. Eric, kind of just saw the same thing mostly that was going on.
I wonder if Matt boarded into Sabo's webs and then after a second game of not seeing anything and is now boarding them out.
Yeah, could be.
See if that punishes him in game 3.
Could be. I don't know that you even really want the webs in this matchup. I mean, obviously there's situations where Eric opens up like Swamp, Wasteland, Factory, and now it looks amazing.
Right.
But I think oftentimes you really need to be playing to the board in this matchup.
Yep.
Yeah, you really need to have like, a board presence. You want to go pound for pound with everything that they're doing so that your survival can outpace them in the long run.
Right.
One of the things that I have so much trouble with Mono-Black playing Terrageddon is that I feel like I have a lot of air in my deck because I'm playing Mox Diamonds and I'm playing Sylvan Libraries and I'm putting all these things on the board that don't interact with their board state and they're just like putting on pressure and removal. And so like, I've actually found nowadays I just sideboard my Mox Diamonds out and just get 4 more cards up in there.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. And we have the turn 1 Cabal Therapy
and
from
it
Eric.
It hits the survival. And Matt on no second land here. Oh, my goodness.
He is putting a lot of faith in that Birds of Paradise.
Yeah,
But it paid off.
okay.
He just played 2 more mana dwarves.
Yeah.
That could have been risky, but it worked out.
Yeah. Wow.
And we got Genesis and Basking Rootwalla left
Oh,
in
my
Matt's
gosh.
hands.
And he has double Wasteland in hand. So this is interesting, though, because the Wastelands will set him back, and you really want to be advancing your board state here. So, yeah, he's opting not to go for it and going for a Powder Keg.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Oh.
That is a gut punch.
Oh, man.
Okay, here we see a Hardcast Genesis. That is
I think
exciting.
Matt has to do it, right? Because, I mean, what else is he going to
Yeah.
do? Like,
Yeah.
he's about to lose his board for the most part.
We're about to see Powder Keg and Wasteland in the same turn. And
that just blows him out.
yeah.
We were just talking about how Tazaba's web maybe not that
Right.
good, but
Yeah. Yep.
here's why it's a staple of the format.
Yep. Although Eric here only on 1 swamp, so I see a Dystopia in his hand that he's not going to be able to deploy. Any of his double black spells he's not going to be able to deploy here. Although he's pulling a Dark Ritual to the front. Okay, so he's going to have a pretty explosive turn right now. Oh my gosh, the
Dystopia.
Perish and Matt. Oh,
Or the Parish, sorry, yep.
brutal, just brutal, pure
Allowed
hate.
him to keep his powder keg.
Yeah, pure spite, and Matt looks pretty checked out.
Yep. Now, important to remember, powder keg cannot destroy enchantments.
Right.
So I've seen players make that mistake. They tick the powder keg up to 2 to take out the survival, and then it doesn't work. So I don't think Erick's going to make that mistake by any means, but just important to remember.
Did Erick miss his land drop right there? I'm kind of. It seemed like he had a wasteland.
Yeah, I think he just got so excited with that perish.
Yeah, yeah, fair. I would have too.
Definitely wants to no. Okay. Oh, I'm not familiar with that wasteland art.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty cool one. I think it's like a secret layer, but has a Library of Alexandria under the desert sands.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Also done by Mark Poole, notably.
Nice. Second Mishra's Factory.
Boy, Sabo's Web. How about that card?
How about that card?
Okay, so Matt is in a bad position, but he still has, doesn't he have that Genesis in the graveyard?
He does.
Yeah, so he has the ability to kind of get back online right now. He's not fully out of this. He's got basics. He can't get wastelanded.
There's another wasteland from Erick.
Yep. Coming in for 4 on the factories, playing, little factory control game here. Now I guess it's maybe, we're kind of getting past the point where, like, the Genesis is worth it. Oh, man, and Matt is off of it. Damn.
Yep.
Damn.
Sees the writing on the wall.
That was tough. That was really tough.
Maybe I'm not as bad at this game as I thought I was. That Sabo's Web actually would have been the one thing that could have pulled him back into that match.
Yeah. Just perish. What a crushing card.
That blew him out. And the fact that he had another board wipe on the board, it's just like insult to injury right there.
Yeah. Perish is one of my favorites, man. That's like a banger from yesteryear.
It's true. That is kind of one of the things that Wizards got away from in modern design. They really don't like land destruction, and they really don't like color hosing.
Yeah.
And that is something that we see in full display in Premodern.
Yeah, we're gluttons for punishment over here.
I don't know why we ever left. I mean, this is the way to do it.
This is it. This is why we sell it in 2 minutes, baby.
Exactly. So, man, we've only seen 3 matches so far, and it's already been an awesome day of Magic.
This is crazy.